Iraq loves Donald Trump because they know what he did and what he's about to do with our currency, the American dollar, and their float. Militiaman theorizes that the ID is worth 40% more than the Kuwait dinar due to oil reserves. My math guesses it will be around $4.50 plus. Reference Militiaman post the 21st of January 2025, Marks, I very much agree with Militiaman. I don't know if he took into account the 2 billion barrels of oil they just discovered this week, but it is looking good. Great progress has been made by Iraq in the filing of the joining of the World Trade Organization after resuming negotiations that were suspended for more than 16 years, stressing this step represents a part of Iraq's vision to enhance Iraq's role in the global trading system. They didn't do it at 1310. Are they ever going to do that? I don't think so. Why didn't they do it years ago? If nothing is going to change and they're going to keep it the same, how are they going to pay for that? I think it's far cheaper for Iraq to bring on a real effective exchange rate to meet compliance with Article 8 of the IMF Article 4.2. I think it's pretty exciting. De-dollarization gave the CBI full control of their exchange rate of their currency and it put them in Article 8 compliance. No restrictions. Therefore there is no outside interference right now concerning their monetary reform. Nothing can stop/delay the new exchange rate that is coming. They are now in full control of their currency/exchange rate. Republican Congressman Joe Wilson, a close ally of President Donald Trump, claimed, Iran exerts control over Iraq's government and its armed factions pose a significant threat to the United States. Posted on X, Wilson stated Iran has been defeated in Lebanon and Syria but still runs Iraq. He further emphasized Iranian-backed militias in Iraq threaten the US and our allies. They must be dealt with. Trump will fix it, the Post said. Stay tuned. Things are happening fast. Al-Sudani in a telegram to Trump, we are committed to strategic relations under the umbrella of respect for sovereignty and non-interference. Quote, Iraq aspires to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and partnership with the United States, within the framework of the strategic agreement and the common interests of the two countries, stressing the importance of working to support the foundations of stability, security and development regionally and internationally. He had to come home. His interpreter is still there, she calls once in a blue moon. Her father's brother is in charge of one of the 4 major banks in Iraq. It was over 2 years ago that she called the Iceman and said, Iceman, you were right, we are going to be given new currency. We are going to be given purchasing power. Iceman, why do you say this? Interpreter, my uncle just took me and my dad in the back and we saw what they're doing. It looks like the old currency my dad said from the old days. Iceman, from today, they have released some small notes, printed vision impaired notes. 1, 5, 10, 20, 50 and 100s. We did get one update from a bond conference call last night that yes. They were told in that call that President Trump was the magic and things are now moving forward. That now makes 2 check-ins, saying now that Trump is in office, the decision was made and they are now moving forward. They were told they are putting money in accounts to be funded on Thursday. Question, do we still have to wait for 30% of the bonds to go before we get to go? Marks, I don't think we have to wait for 30% to go. I think now, when they pull the trigger it will all go at one time, at this point. The number one thing that's going to resolve Baghdad and Kurdistan issue is going to be the oil and gas law. This is why they seem to have this never-ending matter of differences. They need the oil and gas law completed. That's what resolves all these matters. The oil and gas law is a never-ending subject because it's waiting for the rate to change to complete. Auction does not build the economy. Quote, the central bank did well recently and left the auction platform, and returned to respect its currency, which is the dinar. The most important step is to zero out the dinar, and buy the 1,250 old dinars for 1 dinar of the new currency during the exchange after printing the 1 dinar denomination, and the value of 1 dinar will be $1, making the value of 1 dinar equal to $1 will keep the citizen, merchant, traveler, doctor, etc. away from running after the dollar next. The CBI has specifically told us many times these larger notes will still exist and will be used behind the scenes for interbanking transactions. Of course they will be taken out of the mainstream circulation but will still remain as legal tender. My CBI contact also told me the CBI was forced politically to print these notes because of the demand to satisfy the visually impaired. The fact that these notes will still remain legal tender even after the project to delete the zeros should make you feel good. No, the CBI is not going to screw us investors. Iraq issues new banknotes with innovative security features for the visually impaired. Photos. These new versions of the 3-0 notes will not worry you. I will emphasize once again the CBI has told us many times in the past that these 3-0 notes are not going away for some time even after the project to delete the 3 zeros is completed. Iraq will eventually be using dinar widely to pay for imports. Where are they going to get all this cash to pay for very large sums/costs of imported goods? As time passes, much of these transactions will be electronic, but not yet. The banks would still need the larger 3-0 notes. President of the Republic Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid and Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani congratulated Donald Trump on the occasion of his swearing-in as President of the United States. A statement received by al-Sabak stated that the President of the Republic expressed in a post on the X application his wishes for President Trump to succeed in his work duties. He stressed Iraq's support for establishing security and stability in the region and the world, and strengthening bilateral relations between our two friendly countries in a way that achieves the common interests of the two peoples. The Prime Minister also sent a congratulatory cable to U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday, on the occasion of his assumption of office as President of the United States of America. In the cable, al-Sudani indicated Iraq's aspiration to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and partnership with the United States, within the framework of the Strategic Framework Agreement and the common interests of the two countries, stressing the importance of working to support the foundations of stability, security and development regionally and internationally. In his telegram, he stated that the Iraqi government adheres to strategic relations with the United States, and seeks to activate and expand the scope of implementation of all bilateral memoranda of understanding, and bilateral security and economic coordination, under the umbrella of respect for sovereignty, non-interference in internal affairs, and strengthening bilateral exchange in the cultural and technological fields, and the fields of investment and sustainable development.